Now, Kurt, this is a terrific vision you have. You talk about the importance of story. What kind of a story do you have to tell when it comes to fundraising? I mean, you've got to get the funds for this, right?
Absolutely.
In fact, I would think that's one of the major challenges of seeing this vision fulfilled is raising the finances necessary to make it happen.
Yeah, well, you know, I think when God calls you to do something, like any project that He would ask you to do, certainly the funds become available. And, you know, currently we are raising funds to do the films as well as raising our own personal support as missionaries, my wife and I. Yeah, I mean, it is a bit of a challenge, especially in our economy, but in the grand scheme of things, God has things under control.
Yeah.
So.
Now, the story of this that you just highlighted, the drug cartel guy, tell me a little bit about that story. That's a fascinating story.
Well, a missionary first introduced me to Pastor Esteban Mendoza by the name of Larry Walker with Advancing Churches in Mission Commitment. The story is essentially, you saw a little bit of it there. He was an ex-drug cartel leader, and he became a follower of Christ in prison after just a few years of serving his sentence of 33 years. And he was let out of prison after 3 years of his sentence because he was able to start a church inside the prison walls and the cells that grew to more than 600 people. And that movement, that genuine change that was happening in these people's lives was recognized by the Mexican government. And they said, under one condition will we let you out of your sentence early, which is that you would go into our other prisons and do the same thing. We don't know what you're doing. We don't understand how God, you know, this is not because we believe that God is doing this, but because essentially we see the transformation. And so now he's planted more than 40 indigenous churches. He has led more than 4,000 men through a drug rehabilitation program. It's exploding, and it's grassroots, and it's indigenous.
Now, when you do a story like that, and you've got to capture it on film, it's not a slam dunk in terms of getting into a prison or being given freedom to walk around with cameras and interview people freely and so on, right?
Yeah, this is true. Essentially, we are relying on God to open doors for us, and so far it's been pretty incredible to see the opportunities that we've been given.
So when you did this film on this guy, were you able to go into the prison and get footage right from the actual setting?
Well, we have not finished shooting the film,
right.
But when we went down there to shoot, we did get to interview the prison guard who was in charge of Esteban, who may or may not be a believer. In fact, I don't think that he actually is. He's sort of an outside objective viewpoint, and was giving me the story on Esteban's life.
Do you have other stories in the hopper that you're pursuing, God willing?
We do.
For example?
Yes, we have a film that we're doing that's in South Africa on the HIV crisis with another filmmaker, Mobiizer, who's part of RISE as well, or he's on the board of RISE, I should say. He's with OM International as a mobilizer, and he went there to do this as his doctorate thesis and shot footage while he was there. We also have few other stories that we're in the process of investigating. One in Liberia, Nigeria, where an ex-LA gang member has gone there and now is planting churches among gangs in Nigeria and ministering to child soldiers in Liberia.
Wow. This is what I was talking about off the top, friends. There's a whole generation of young adults rising up who are really captivated by the message of the gospel and have creative ways of getting that message out to the world. And boy, I just think this is terrific. You have an event in Toronto. Now we're talking Monday. What day is today? The 8th. The 8th, the day after the Super Bowl fiasco. Right, the 8th. I'll never forget it. Anyway. So we're talking the 9th at Bayview Glen, which is that's Steeles and
Bayview and Steeles.
Bayview and Steeles, that's right. Bayview Glen Alliance Church. What's happening there?
Yeah, at 7 p.m. we start. I'm going to be explaining RISE and doing sort of a seminar on being missional as a filmmaker. One of the other things that we're doing with RISE is catalyzing a movement of artists, filmmakers, who can really use their professional skills on a professional level, such as Hollywood filmmakers, where they're learning, being mentored by other professionals in the field. And then when we're helping them get those opportunities, and then including them also in the productions that we're doing.
Well, this is terrific. I wish you all the best, Kurt. It's a great initiative. And as you said a few minutes ago, when the Lord gives you the vision and the Lord is in it, He makes sure that whatever is necessary is supplied. Go for it. I think it's terrific. Thanks again.
Thank you.